11, and this is from the QAS test from April 2017. And let's jump in here. So the question says, which choice best supports the claim in the first sentence of the passage? And then we're given a bunch of these sentences here. So this is pretty straightforward. Probably the first thing we need to do is go back and just ask ourselves, what is the first sentence of the passage? And then from there, we can kind of choose a text that will match that. So let's go up to the first sentence, which is here. And that says, knowing your own reputation can be surprisingly difficult. So we basically need to find a text that's going to tell us that it's hard to know your own reputation. So let's begin with the first one. The first one is lines 2 to 4. So we go to 2 to 4. And that says, consider, for instance, a study that analyzed a set of published experiments, all sharing the same basic design. So this right here, I would say, is not a really good answer choice because all it's doing is telling us, is setting up the experiments to come. They don't really prove for us or say that it's hard to know your own reputation. All they do is basically say, let's look at these different studies that tested this. So because it's only setting up the experiments and not really making the claim itself, that it's hard to understand how others feel about you, I think we can get rid of A. Then we'll go to B, which is lines 21 through 23. And where is that? That is right here. If people were clueless, then there would be no correspondence between the two. Nice. Let's try this. If people knew exactly what, if people were clueless, then there would be no correspondence between the two. So we got to understand what's going on here in the context, and this is basically towards the end of the passage where they're giving a little bit of information about just a little statistical information. They're explaining basically what correlation or correspondence means, and then it's giving the measurement for that. And it's basically saying, here's the design of the experiment. If people didn't know, then there would be no correspondence between the two. So all this is doing is sort of explaining the methodology of the experiment and giving us a little statistical background, but it's not giving us the claim or supporting the claim that it's hard to know your own reputation. So I think we can also get rid of B. Then we have C, which is lines 26 through 27. That's right here. This says the closer the correlation is to 1, the stronger the relationship. This is almost the same thing as B, the last thing we looked at. All it's doing is giving us statistical information. It's giving us a little background knowledge, but it's not making the claim that it's hard to know your own reputation. So I also feel like we could probably eliminate C, which is going to leave us with D, and let's see if D makes sense. That's 54 through 58. And this says, although you might have some sense of how smart your coworkers think you are, you appear to have no clue about which coworkers in particular find you smart and which do not. So this basically says, on average, you might understand how all your coworkers feel about you, feel how smart you are, but you really have no idea how individual coworkers find you. And that does match here, which says knowing your own reputation can be surprisingly difficult. So for that reason, answer choice D is going to be our correct answer for question number 11.